Before we begin, a simple ritual. Drop one word in the comments that describes exactly how you feel right now. I'm glad you're here. Let's begin. Wake up like your life is on the line. Get up right now or stay under the blankets hoping the world will wait for you. The world will not wait. It crashes in without knocking and demands you rise. I will not soothe you with promises. I will not tell you it will be easy. It will be hard. That is exactly what you need if you want to seize the raw power life has to offer. Maybe your body wants more rest. Maybe you just want to slip back into dreams. But the moment you choose between getting up or lying there is the moment you decide who you are. If you keep snoozing with your dreams, it means they are not burning inside you. If you genuinely care, you do not let the morning slip away. When you do, you regret it later, wondering where all that precious time has gone. Stand as though everything depends on it, because it does. When you give yourself extra minutes of laziness, you're giving away a piece of your will. People who settle for comfort sink into regrets and disappointments. People who choose to fight for their goals push through the cold, the fatigue, the nagging voice that says it is too early to start. They ignore the body's pleas for safety and find the spark within themselves. Stop asking why it feels so hard. Nobody enjoys prying themselves from a warm. The cost of chasing something bigger. Everyone wants a piece of comfort. A select few want victory more than comfort. One small concession to comfort can become the rust that spreads through your discipline. Allow it once, and you end up chained by your own willingness to give in. No random gift of fate can rival the rush of seizing your day while others are still asleep. You will not receive applause. Nobody hands out medals for rising early. And that is fine, because you are not doing it for applause. You are doing it with your purpose. You are doing it to prove your commitment is not just talk. There is never a guarantee of success, but you can guarantee your relentless drive. Do not assume the world owes you anything. Nobody will stand by your pillow with trumpets declaring you a hero for starting your day. There are no trumpets. There is only your determination. If you lack that, nothing else matters. It is easy to stay in bed fantasizing about. It is harder to rise and shape that day into what it needs to be. Look at your life like a battlefield. Time will not sit idle. If you fail to show up for the fight, you lose by default. Morning is not the hour for blaming the weather. Morning is the hour to attack. Go and claim your place, or step aside for the person who rises first. Notice how someone has already started training, reading, planning, achieving. While you linger, they gain ground. You forfeit before your first sip of coffee. That is not the end, though. It is a lesson. If you version of yourself, take action before your body is ready. The body craves ease. A leader craves challenge. When your feet touch the cold floor, your shoulders brace, and your lungs fill with that sharp breath of early air, you send a message to yourself and the world. Your goals are more than talk. Each new step is a victory over the habit of hiding. Hiding is a chain that drags you under. Break it. Morning is the symbol of how you handle destiny. You announce that you will not be beaten. If you greet it with indifference, you forfeit another chunk of your potential. Yes, sometimes you want to close the curtains and ignore the demands of the world. But remember that someone else is using that moment to move forward and claim what could have been yours. Day after day, each morning is a fresh start. Yet a crowd does not even leave the starting line. They forfeit right away, choosing the comfortable label called rest. But rest should come to an effort, not as a daily escape. If your rest time outweighs your hustle, your goals will gather dust, forgotten in a box of wasted opportunities. Rising early may not fast-track you to success, but it forges your character. And character is born on the edge of discomfort, not in the lap of luxury. It does not matter to this world if you are tired or unmotivated. It spins on, throwing challenges at anyone who dares to keep going. Only those who refuse to slumber through them have a shot. Seize it. Nothing falls into the lap of a dreamer who stays in bed. But so much can happen for the one who stands up and moves, even if they have no perfect plan. That chance you are waiting for belongs to the person who fights, not the one who surrenders to the pillow. So, here is your wake-up call. If you do not rise this moment, you may miss your key opportunity. Not in an hour, not in a day, but now. Each second spent in emptiness is a second another stronger, faster, more prepared. If you want to prove you have willpower, prove it right when the alarm blares. Step out of bed, take command of your day, and show it who is in charge. Either you dominate the morning or the morning buries your ambition. Decide. Jump up with a blaze in your eyes or lie there while life flips through the pages of your story without you. Fate does not wait to ask if you are ready. It strikes whenever it pleases. People cry out, wondering why bad things happen. But the real question is this: what are you going to do with it? Maybe the universe wants you to grasp that victory never belongs to anyone untested. Difficulty does not appear to pat you gently on the back. It appears to show you that growth demands struggle. There comes a time when everything you rely on might crumble, your confidence might collapse, and into chaos. This is when you prove your mettle. Countless individuals break down, retreat, blame fate for being unfair. Fairness is not a universal law. The storm that crashes your life is the same storm that can harden your resolve if you choose to stay in the fight. Crushing challenges are your chance to find untapped reserves of grit. The bigger the hit, the more powerful your rebound can be. No one escapes pain, but you decide whether pain shapes you. Embrace it as a test. Do you think champions stay idle in a safe corner? No. They have the scars to show how many times they faced the storm and got up again. Complaining is the fastest path to defeat. When you complain, you accept powerlessness. Fate does not care if you stand tall or crumble in a heap of self-pity. It does its job. The only question is how you emerge afterward. Will you let yourself be wrecked? Stronger. Every time fate lands a blow, ask what benefit you can extract from it. Learn where you are weak. Learn where to reinforce. Pain is a teacher. Fear is an illusion. And your response is the only reality. Expecting the world to be fair is naive. Better to focus on strengthening your will. Will does not plead for mercy. It stands up and demands more from itself. The one who bears the most hits without giving up earns the right to guide others. Sometimes we do not discover how far we can go. Only when chaos rages do we learn just how tough we truly are. Catastrophe reveals our hairline fractures, leaving us to decide whether to mend or shatter completely. Do not confuse random insults for real challenges. Insults are background noise from those who do not believe in you. True blows are those moments when your foundation cracks, your support vanishes, and you feel too weak to rise. Yet you rise anyway, scraping for any scratch. How you surpass your former limits. It is not heroism. It is survival of the spirit. Face your pain with open eyes. It can be a hammer to forge your spirit if you are not afraid of the heat. Your story is not written in times of comfort and quiet. It is written in thunder, when everything shakes and lights flicker and the wind howls. If thunder scares you, you will remain hidden in the cave. If you face the storm, you seize command of your destiny. Let the rain drench you. Let your energy wane. But keep your resolve blazing. Ask yourself whether you want to live cowering from every thunderclap. If those who shaped the world had feared storms, nothing would have advanced. Those mighty collisions are part of the path. Endurance within. Put aside your doubts. They weigh you down for nothing. There is no unstoppable onslaught of fate if you keep forging forward. If you say you have no strength, search deeper. Often, the real strength is buried under timid hesitation. You have a mind, a will, a hunger to live beyond mediocrity. Let that hunger devour every blow and turn it into a lesson. The end only arrives when you decide not to get up again. Until then, every setback is stronger. Laziness is a sly enemy, too often disguised as harmless rest. You tell yourself that it is fine to skip just one day, put things off one more time, indulge in a little idleness. But under that innocent mask, it chips away at your ambition. Laziness does not refresh you. It sedates you like a slow poison you barely notice. You think you have all the time in the world, so you put off your dreams. Then years you never act on. You tell yourself there is no urgency, that conditions are not perfect. But that perfect moment does not exist until you create it by pushing through discomfort. Laziness likes to whisper, encouraging you to wait until tomorrow. Tomorrow is just another day to waste if you refuse to move right now. A tiny dose of laziness quickly grows into a habit that saps your energy day by day, and you wake up much later to find you lost but years in that quicksand. Yes, real rest matters, but genuine rest is earned by rigorous effort. If you lounge around more than you work, you carry an illusion of never-ending chances. Meanwhile, your ambition dims. Laziness is a cunning thief that robs your drive, creativity, focus. Think of the many moments you really needed to push forward, but chose the couch, scrolled through distractions, told yourself you deserved a break. That impulse to relax is seldom driven by actual exhaustion. It is usually the easy route to temporary comfort. Each time you give in, you barricade yourself from the success that demands persistence. Anything worthwhile requires sustained energy. Occasional bursts are not enough. Laziness cleverly masquerades as self-care. You tell yourself to be gentle, to recharge. But make sure you're not recharging when there was no real drain in the first place. You must weed out the difference between legitimate recovery and sheer avoidance. When you feel like you have nothing left, it often means you are on the verge of surpassing your old limits. One more push is all it takes to discover hidden reserves. It will not be a pleasant journey, but those who conquer that threshold never look back. They gain proof they can do more than they believed. That knowledge becomes an unshakable cornerstone of confidence. Cease waiting for the perfect morning or some external push. Every day can be dismissed with an excuse. Your mind is cloudy, your heart is heavy. Meanwhile, the world moves onward, with or without you. If you do not keep pace, you drift further from your own potential. Yes, working without emotional fuel feels like stumbling in the dark, but your eyes adjust. You learn to navigate by grit rather than fleeting excitement. That is how you toughen up. When you take the right actions, even in a drained state, you open the path to heights most never see. It is never a glamour about exceeding not only external expectations, but also the internal urge to quit. Once you stand among that relentless few, you no longer scramble for excuses. You become the embodiment of perseverance for anyone still hesitating. Do not wait for the glow of inspiration. Flick the switch yourself, time after time, until your habit of doing becomes ingrained and you realize that genuine feeling often arrives after you start acting, not before. You can try to win everyone's. Always be folks who resent your drive, mock your ambition, or belittle your progress. They might attack your work, question your worth, and try to bury your fear under their scorn. You could let their negativity consume you, or you could burn it as fuel. When confronted with hostility, do you deflate, or do you harness that negative energy to blast forward? Some hear hateful words and crumble into self-doubt, asking if they really should quit. But any harshness can become a forge if you brave the flames. To someone else's bitterness, funnel every insult into the furnace of your will. Critics are like signals that you are in motion. If you anger no one, maybe you are not changing anything. Real change provokes resistance. That pushback proves you are making waves. Instead of dreading people's anger, fear universal applause. That often means you have settled for bland mediocrity, and mediocrity kills growth. Lock eyes with the doubters. Hear their scorn, feel their sneers, then think, let them sling mud, let them jeer. Each jab is fresh momentum if you refuse to combust from within. If you do not burn out first, you rise reborn, stronger than before. That requires thick skin. You cannot bend to every insult. Show who you are, no matter their backlash. Many of these naysayers fail to reach their own summit. They see your courage, and it reminds them of the boldness they lacked. So they lash out, saying, you cannot make it, or you do not deserve it. Their hostility is rooted in their own broken hopes. Do not waste your breath hating them back. That is another trap. Hate devours your energy. Better to invest it in forging ahead, ignoring useless clashes. Use criticism shrewdly. If there Learn from it. If it is baseless, treat it like empty noise. Do not let it latch on to you. If you can remain steady, negativity becomes a powerful impetus. The harder they try to derail you, the more your spirit solidifies. You do not owe them a debate. You owe yourself progress. Do not let their doubts penetrate your core. Take the hits, but do not pocket them. Let them bounce off your armor. An enemy tests the density of your inner pillar. Each attempt to rattle you is a chance to prove your foundation is unshakable. Then your inner work is unfinished. If you endure, your power grows. Sometimes your most relentless foe ignites your greatest surge. When people ridiculed my ideas or declared them impossible, I clenched my teeth and worked even harder. I discovered hidden stamina I never knew. Their scorn was my catalyst, and my triumph was continuing to advance, even though they spat in my direction. Real victory is not about crushing your enemy's spirit. It is about being They will keep ranting, but your eyes remain on your mission. Enemies can be a backup fuel supply, raw and unpleasant, but potent once refined. Just make sure you do not burn yourself with it. Let their hostility ignite your determination, not your resentment. Emerge taller, unrearing, confounding everyone who doubted you. Dreaming alone gets you nowhere. You can spend eternity picturing a better life, clinging to fantasies of glory, admiration, wealth. But imagination without action is an empty promise. It soothes you but does not alter reality. Too many never planting their feet on solid ground. Stop fantasizing. Grab hold of what you can shape right now. Let it be rough at first. Let it look messy. But take real steps. A single blow of the hammer on stone outweighs all the daydreams in the world. Dreamers wait for the muse. Builders get to work regardless of the forecast. Yes, daydreams can lift your spirits, but true flight demands risk. It demands tension in your wings, the possibility of falling if something goes wrong. Dreaming is safe and easy. Sometimes frightening, but it is the only way you feel the raw pulse of life. If you crave comfort above all, you remain stuck in illusions. If you crave results, you carve them out, one laborious stroke at a time. Stop looking for the easiest path. Seek the path that yields the best result. Sitting around imagining your triumph costs nothing, so it yields nothing. Meanwhile, the smallest real deed can transform your direction. Read a single page that gives you insight. Make one call you have been avoiding. One skill you have postponed for ages. All these things beat idle fantasies. When you engage in tangible action, however small, you feel a shift inside you. A single tangible success or even a single misstep you learn from is worth more than endless illusions. Daydreams do not teach lessons. They only anesthetize you. Your life is an empty canvas. You can spend your years rehearsing the perfect painting in your mind, or you can dip the brush in paint and start. Yes, the first But if you never begin, you remain stuck with a blank page. Many wait for that ideal set of conditions, better finances, more support, or perfect timing. Yet, ideal conditions arrive from your efforts. If you trail behind circumstances, you remain a follower rather than a creator. Put aside illusions, roll up your sleeves, and build. It might be slow and unrefined, but it is yours to sculpt. Your days are not infinite, and you might not get another shot. Stop postponing it the time in the world. If you had only these hours to prove you are truly alive rather than merely existing, would you really waste them daydreaming? It is not about perfection. It is about engagement. Are you in the arena, hammering at reality, or in the corner, conjuring fantasies? Live as if there is no second try. So many act as though there is an endless field of time before them, delaying action and shelving big ideas. The truth is that you might not receive another chance. You only know you have right now, this moment, this single spark of life in your lungs. Tomorrow is not a promise. Imagine that every choice today is your final moment to prove that you are not just drifting. How would you spend your energy then? Many people lose themselves in concerns, ignoring the fact that the clock is always ticking. That leads to heartbreak when they finally see how many opportunities slipped by as they worried and wavered. Some say this approach is too intense, that it is impossible to maintain that level of urgency. But the real sting comes later, when you look back and realize you let your prime slip away. Better to dare and stumble than to cradle regrets for all you never attempted. Failure is not the worst outcome. Stagnation is, each more. If I truly have no time to waste, what will I do right now? Maybe you make that call you have dreaded, or start writing that book you envisioned, or admit you cannot hide your talents any longer. Put action before fear. Put progress before caution. When the day ends, ask, did I live today as if there was no second take? Or did I wait for everything to sort itself out? If you sense it was mostly avoidance, remember that you do still have one more dawn, though not an unlimited supply. Stop. It never materialize. This is not a rehearsal. You do not get endless rewrites. You have this one stage, this one chance to break the chains of hesitation. That is the raw freedom of embracing your own impermanence. The clock began the moment you drew your first breath. There is only the question of what you will do before it strikes your last. Act as though there is no tomorrow. Demand more from yourself. Risk looking foolish. Risk the leap, because that is how you find genuine meaning. Let each day stand purpose, a testament that you did not squander your gift of life. Every passing minute is precious. Will you fill it with timid doubts or bold strides? You do not have more than one attempt at living as yourself in this moment. So make the choice to burn bright, to dig deeper, to keep moving when the crowd stops. Surrender to fear, and you watch life slip away before your eyes. Charge ahead, and you create your own possibility. That is not an empty phrase. That is the only chance you get. Stop counting all your effort into this day. Life is no rough draft that you can polish later. If you want to live vividly, push forward with your entire being. Remember that tomorrow is never guaranteed. You have today, you have this breath, you have your drive to take that essential step. That is more than enough.